Good morning, family. Well, sorry, good morning slash afternoon slash evening, depending on where you are in the country. Let me put the comments up on the stage real quick. Shout out to anybody who's up. I am on the East Coast for like 2 or 3 more days. I'll be back in LA very shortly. And so even though it's like 3:30 there, it's only like noon 30 biologically. And I woke up with like an upset tummy, but before we get started, I feel like I have a lot of housekeeping to make. First of all, hi, my name is Blue Telusma. Welcome to anybody who is new to the space. Welcome back to the Blue Crew. I love y'all so much. Wait a minute, somebody's already talking about AIDS can go to hell. Let's get started. Yes, noon 30. It's about noon 30 biologically for me right now. I have had a week. The last week of May had hands, feet, and teeth. Okay? The last week of May had hands, feet, and teeth. And though, not but, and it ended on a really lovely note. I think the cat is out of the bag at this point. For those who are wondering why I was in New York, I was in New York because I was taping an episode with the Joe Budden podcast. And so before we get started, I just want to thank Joe so much for being so chivalrous, so kind, so reasonable, so lovely. These are all words that I don't think you guys expected me to come on here and I don't think y'all expected me to come on here saying this. I will say this. The episode is on the Friends of the Show tier of the Patreon, because you guys know Joe Budden usually has just him and his crew for the main show, and when he has whether me or Kev on stage or Duran Bernard, like anybody is usually in the after show on the Patreon. So if you're wondering which level, it's the Friend of the Show level. I will say this, Blue Crew, one of the things I'm incredibly proud about in this space that we have co-created is that we are the antithesis of other fandoms. There are other people who have a community. I don't even want to call it a fandom because I feel like it's more mutually beneficial than that. We are a community that's different than the others because there are some people that when you follow them, they stoke the flames of ire and they subconsciously, covertly, or sometimes overtly tell you to attack people. The Blue Crew is the opposite. When you guys enter spaces where that I am visiting to support me, you guys shower people with blue hearts. And I cannot tell you how proud I am that in a ecosystem where people's followings tend to rush for chaos, you guys rush to like show compassionate care to people on my behalf. And I cannot thank you enough. So if you do end up going to Joe Budden's Patreon, please put the blue hearts and let them know that the Blue Crew is there to show love, not to have combat, right? For those of you who swore up and down that you would never watch an episode of Joe Budden unless I was on, don't walk in with that spirit. Walk in the spirit of you want to move in a way that I would be proud of, right? I feel like I need to make that disclaimer because, you know, man spaces can be a little different from whatever the fuck this is. So only walk in there with compassionate love. Do not walk in there shaming the devil or talking crazy. If you see somebody who's lazy, intellectually stunted, dealing with arrested development, allergic to logic, etc., who says, the typical lazy shit like, oh, tell that stupid fat bitch to shut up. No, I'm not going to shut up, and it's okay, right? Know that those kind of comments don't hurt my feelings. I haven't seen those kind of comments yet. I'm just letting y'all know that I'm a fucking daffodil, which means I'm a lady, but I can fight, right? So if you see anything nasty, ignore it. If you see anything steeped in love, please champion it and highlight it. If you see anything inaccurate, though, because my tism brain hates inaccuracies, feel free to fact check, though. Don't be nasty, don't be mean, but feel free to fact check. Fact checks are great. Compassion is great. Blue hearts are great. But please don't ever show up anywhere on my behalf to fight. Just feel the need to say that. But no, the episode was awesome. I'm actually halfway through listening to it because you guys don't know this, but whenever I'm on a podcast or am a guest in a space and it's going to be televised, I kind of get into a zone where I'm so excited about having a good conversation that I totally forget that there's cameras. It even happens here. There'll be times that I'll watch back my lives and be like, when did I say that? Oh, when did I say that? And y'all have seen me accidentally channel. And there is no place that I channel the most accidentally than when we are covering Love Island. So today we are going to be doing Love Island. For those who are saying, well, Blue, how was your experience with Joe? Is that all you're going to say? No. And we joked about this on set on Friday. I am going to do, for the members only, a story time when I'm back in LA about my experience at the Joe Budden podcast, because this week is busy. And there's some housekeeping we need to do first. Today, we're going to be doing the Love Island pre-game, right? Because a lot is happening on Love Island before the show has even started. Tomorrow, I already told y'all this, we're not doing Tarot Tuesday tomorrow because I'm traveling and I don't like to bring my tarot cards with me to travel. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a special deep dive on Dominique Morgan and the situation going on with her. Because I have very, very, very strong feelings about not just what's happening with Dominique Morgan, but the response to her, and the emotional intelligence lessons are rampant. People have been telling on themselves when it comes to Dominique Morgan in a way that is, yeah. Somebody said, Blue, did you cook ish? Funny enough, I was just listening. The last thing I listened to was a clip where I was talking to Ish and he made a good point, and I conceded that he made a good point, and he thought I was trying to finesse him because I don't think he thought that I could concede. Like, oh, that was a good point. But you guys need to understand, whenever I walk into any space, I don't walk in thinking, I'm that bitch. I know everything. I'm about to clown these niggas. I feel like a lot of people think that. I walk into spaces with a spirit of curiosity. I'm curious. I'm curious about, somebody said, you saw me on the JVP. Where did you see me on the JVP this morning? I've been working all day, so I don't know anything about the promo for this episode yet, because Monday is my heavy day where I'm doing our Monday quickies here. Then I have to watch Real Housewives and prepare to do 2 or 3 hours with Claudia and Carlos King and Dustin. So like Mondays, I don't get to see much because Monday is the day where I'm on camera a lot. So if you guys saw anything on the JVP, please feel free to, whatchamacallit, drop a link, because assume I haven't seen anything, right? I haven't seen anything. I'm just someone who has joined their Patreon. I'm just watching the episode like a regular listener. But today we're going to be doing this Monday quickie, because I want you guys to get in the habit of Monday quickies. Then I'm doing Carlos's show. Tomorrow we're doing the Dominique Morgan deep dive. Wednesday, I'm doing all types of errands and shit. And then I think Wednesday night or Thursday, I end up going back to LA. And then don't get mad, guys. Y'all know that I'm a Gemini rising, which means I can't look the same for too long. I can't look the same for too long. So Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be drastically switching up my appearance. Right? And then either Friday, probably Friday, because is it Friday? No, I have plans on Friday. Friday's the Hollywood Unlocked Awards. So on Friday night, I'll be on the Hollywood Unlocked Awards. So if I do a JVP breakdown, it'll either be Thursday or Saturday. It'll either be Thursday before travel or Saturday when I'm safely at home with my new look. Haven't decided yet. So for those who are asking about Tarot Tuesday will be next Tuesday. All right. I did not forget Tarot Tuesday. I feel like the energy is going to be very, very interesting. I find it so funny. One of the hot topics I do want to cover quickly, I did a video about Jay-Z and his hair. It is glorious. I was so moved that I tagged Sacred. Okay? I was so moved. We love a quickie. I know that's right. I was so moved that I tagged Sacred, and I loved Hope's hair. I would not ever see myself at the Roots picnic unless I was talent or having a VIP experience, just because Bridget knows this. I don't go to functions where I can't sit down. I'm not a stand up and watch type of bitch. I have a herniated disc in my vertebrae from that car accident that I had with my Uber driver 3.5 years ago now. So it quite physically hurts me to be standing for a long time. So the Roots picnic was never going to happen, but the videos were amazing. I feel like I was there, and I still got to maintain my back health. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, Blue, what color hair are we hard launching? I'm not telling y'all. Just know that I stayed as Ginger Kitty much longer than I expected because y'all harassed me. Okay. Oh, before I forget that. Hold on. So one of you, and this person asked for me not to share their information because I was excited to tag them and they told me not to, and I respect that. But one of my Blue Crew family sent me a picture of me as Ginger Kitty that I want to share with you because I'm so tickled by it and also slightly fascinated. Because you know how one of the things about being autistic is autistic people kind of function in this self-contained bubble because we get overstimulated. And so I'm always fascinated. Yes, like the live stream family. I'm always fascinated when people share with me how they perceive me. Because I don't spend much time thinking about how I'm perceived. I spend a lot of time thinking about how I perceive myself. Y'all can tell me I'm Gucci. If I don't agree, fuck y'all. I need to like me, right? So I spend a long time so worried about how I perceive myself. When anybody tells me how they perceive me, I'm always tickled by it because that's not like really something I care about. But this fascinated me. So guys, Somebody sent me this picture. Somebody has made artwork of Ginger Kitty. I have never, because I am not a celebrity, I am an academic, I am a social commentarian, I'm a writer and a producer. These are all roles that are usually behind the scenes. I'm not used to being perceived in Technicolor, but apparently this is Ginger Kitty, and I'm only asking one question. Do y'all agree that this is how y'all see me? Because I was taken aback. Wait, y'all already saying yep, really? I was taken aback. I did. Is this how y'all perceive me? Okay, somebody said I love this and I need it immediately. Not this. It is giving the spirit of wetness. That is on brand. Shout out to the member of the Blue Crew. 100. Really? Okay, that is surprising. That is very shocking. Okay, so I don't see anybody saying no. That is crazy. I did not think that I came off quite so I don't even know the word. I don't even know the word for this. Okay, well, if y'all agree, then this is somebody said I should recreate this for Halloween. No, this was me at Estelle's thing. I posted a picture of me in a cheetah dress, wrap dress, at Estelle's Blue Note stint in LA. And so this has already happened. I can't be me for Halloween. That's a little redundant. But I think this is so funny. And for those who haven't seen the inspiration video, just look at the Ginger Kitty picture. So I'm going to take this down because I really thought y'all would be as shocked as I was. But apparently y'all are not shocked. That's wild. One person, though, before I came on from who watches the JBP, did release a video. He tagged me on it. I have not watched it. So even though I'm not going to do the Joe Budden experience live for the general public, that's going to be behind the paywall, I thought it'd be cool for me to watch this for the first time with y'all. I will say this, though. One thing that tickled me is, and Joe's a Virgo, so I should have known this. The minute I walked in, Joe was like, I watch all your stuff. I did not think there'd be a day where Joe Budden would be a member of the Blue Crew, which is hilarious. Joe, what's your fan base name, Joe? The Buddenators? The Bud Lights? Joe, what do you call your people? Because I didn't come up with the name of the Blue Crew. Y'all came up with that. I think it's obnoxious to come up with your own name personally. So y'all came up with Blue Crew. I can take no credit for that. Somebody said, my forehead mole is so pretty. Oh, y'all, don't laugh. This is actually my third eye. If you touch this part of my forehead, I will literally start shaking. I can't tell you how many times I've dated a man and said, touching the dot on my forehead is kind of like touching my vagina. It's very sensitive. You can't. Even forehead kisses have to be off center or I'm gonna start shaking. Yeah, it's weird when God is like, she's autistic. Let's make her third eye literal, right? But anyway, let's watch this video, guys. Let's see this reaction. The Bud Lights. I think the Bud Lights is genius, personally. Okay, not the Bud Impressors. Y'all are not. The Joe Avengers is hilarious. All right, let's watch this video together of one of Joe's fans giving their opinions about my appearance. If this is disrespectful, I can take it. I'm not sensitive to critique as long as it's reasonable. If it's too disrespectful, I'm going to take it down. And if it's complimentary, that'll be a nice surprise, but I'm not holding my breath.
This episode of the Joe Budden podcast with Bluecentric on there. If you don't know who Bluecentric is, I'm very new to her too. This episode's top founder. She's, I don't really know how to describe her, but she speaks for women, to women. She's just a great voice in the culture. And I love when they have women guests like her on there to challenge them. So shout out to her. She's the reason I'm even thought about making this post. But I think Mark Lamont Hill has the best job in media right now, especially with everything he experienced leading up to this. If you don't know who Mark Lamont Hill is, great dude, intelligent PhD, black man, very forward thinking, very pro black, very pro LGBTQ, very pro all the right things, right? But he got fired from CNN, and it seems like he has a hard time getting a real long-term position in media in America. And I think it's just because he's a little too smart. I don't think they want a nigga that smart on TV.
Okay, so it seems like this video is about how he thinks Mark Lamont Hill being on the show is a great idea, and he appreciates Joe for bringing on people who can challenge him. I actually love that take. I don't need to listen to the whole thing because the video looks very, very long, but I actually love that take. I think that's very fair. And for those who are saying don't read the comments, baby, I barely read my own comments. The only time I read my comments is if I feel like there was an important conversation and I want to make sure that there was no clarifying questions in the comment section. But I'm not someone who is a slave to comments. In fact, it took me weeks of us doing this Blue Crew dance before I felt comfortable reading my own comments on here. All right, let's now pivot. It's now the 15-minute, 42-minute mark. For those of you who are new here, this is like a podcast. So We always warm up and catch up people up on our day and how we're doing first for the first 10 to 20 minutes, and then we go into the main topic. So right now, 15 minutes, 55 seconds, we're going to start Love Island, and we're going to first start with Ace. We are going to first start with Ace. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. What is the Ace video? Guys, I did not download the Ace video because I didn't have time. Luckily, I did find a website. Honestly, the reason why I didn't download the Ace video is because when I was doing the Dominic Morgan video, I've already started doing the prep for Dominic Morgan. Those of you who are new here, I do about 3 to 6 hours of prep for every live. Like my prep is often much longer than the lives themselves because I want to make sure I'm well researched. And when I haven't researched something, I call it out. So you know that it's a hot take and not something well researched. So for the Ace video, I did watch it, but I did not download it because making sure that the Dominic Morgan prep was tight was more important to me. All right, so let's do a screen share real quick and let's see what Ace has to say for himself, because previously Ace addressed what he did with the Nicolandria interview with Speedy. And you know, I was very passionate. Hollywood Unlocked picked it up. It went viral. It was one of the top 100 videos on YouTube. It was a moment. Ace's fans harassed me for months, telling lies that I was doing voodoo on YouTube. You guys, YouTube wouldn't let me do voodoo. I would get in trouble. Are you dumb? So it's been a while since I talked about Ace, and I didn't think I would ever talk about Ace again. However, it seems that because his initial attempt to repackage history and gaslight the entire social zeitgeist did not work, after months of, just realizing that, hey, you can't walk this back, you have to own it, I'm hearing Ace might have actually finally owned it. Yes, I did see Olandria's birthday. It looked glorious. I'm thinking Ace realized, so Alan, as y'all call him, I think he realized, hey, the audience is smarter than I thought. I can't keep trying to produce everything. Let me just do a mea culpa. So let's see Ace's coming clean. I'm going to choose, again, spirit of curiosity, I'm going to choose to believe that maybe there has been some growth because Ace's initial apology was on some bullshit. It was on some grade A bullshit. So let's see right now. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, the volume. The volume up. Volume's all the way up. All right, let's go.
It's like I've hurt people along the way from, for example, even with the whole Nicolandria situation, when I spoke on that, like that's me speaking from hurt.
Pause. I've hurt people, and the Nicolandria situation was me speaking from hurt. That one sentence alone is more mature than probably the last 6 months of what I've heard from Ace. Oh, for those who are saying watching Jules's take, I'm actually not. I don't like to watch other people's takes because I don't want to be a parrot. So I intentionally only watch the data and come to my own conclusions. So if somebody else did a really good deep dive, I won't be watching it before intentionally. I will intentionally do my own deep dive with my own original thoughts and then watch their stuff. And that's one thing I'm really passionate about is when it's something that is more social justice related and not entertainment related, I don't want to be a parrot. Y'all don't need to come here to watch me repeat what somebody else said. But I appreciate the heads up about the other person. I'll just watch hers afterwards. So far it seems that already Ace has I think Ace watches our videos, y'all. In the same way, I was pleasantly surprised when Joe was honest that he watches a lot of our stuff. I think Ace, there's no way we went that viral and Ace's ego was that big where he didn't watch our video. It was doing too many numbers, right? This sounds like when I made a suggestion heavily, and other people have made suggestions. Jesse's made suggestions. Dexter's made suggestions. Mike's made suggestions. We've had so many people in this space make suggestions to Ace about what a proper apology looks like. So I'm very curious if that had an impact because it already sounds like it did. Someone's saying their connection is bad. Hold on. Y'all know that when I'm in a hotel, I'm very nervous about my connection. Don't share that your connection is bad unless you're saying my connection is bad, because now I'm going to have to stop the entire show to make sure it's you and not just me. Hold on. Let me pull it up. All right. Okay. My connection looks good. All right. Yeah. Y'all you don't understand. A bad internet connection is a sensitive spot. So, okay. I'm fine. Okay. All right. Let's continue watching Ace do what I think might be him actually being accountable. This clip is only 60 seconds long.
Yeah, it was more like a bro. Nick just hurt my feelings. You know, I didn't feel like he had my back. And then, you know, even though I praised Nicolandria in the same interview with Speedy, I still also spoke on her relationship. So it opened up the door for her to get hate on in general. And then that was,
y'all, he finally admitted it. Oh my God, Ace. I'm passionate and fair. Yes, I don't say passionate but fair, because but negates, and I don't feel like passion and fairness are mutually exclusive realities. I'm passionate and fair. Ace, did somebody get to you? Ace, you finally get it. Because the last time when you did that little weird self-promotion documentary about yourself, which was very bizarre to me, still very bizarre, I was like, oh, maybe he's committed to confusion. Right? For those who are saying you're impressed, Ace, we are not an angry mob here. We are reasonable people. You are actually finally making fucking sense. Let me continue.
Wasn't even my intent of the whole thing. It was just basically me to stay how I'm feeling. But, you know, I hurt myself. I hurt them in the process. And that's something where, you know, we talked about it that same week and we smoothed things over and cool, but it put a damage on all of our relationship.
Well. He admits that what he did hurt himself and others, and even though they had personal conversations, he couldn't unring the bell. And that the damage that he caused by being led by temporary emotions having permanent impact are long-standing and everlasting. It feels like Shalace fans owe me an apology, because Not Your King fucking saying exactly what I said 6 months ago. Actually, no, I said it in August, so it's been about 10 months. If there's anybody from the Shalace fandom who called me a stupid fat bitch who was doing voodoo on YouTube against their faves, wants to run me a fucking apology, feel free to do so. What have I been saying for forever that now everybody says? I wasn't wrong, I was just early. Not 10 months ago when I said it, I was the stupid bitch. But now Ace is saying it himself. Somebody said you should text Aaliyah about 2 years to apologize to me. So, oh well. 2 years, he did it in 10 months. Oh, okay. Shalace fans, maybe when this season of Love Island starts, what do I always say, guys? The truth ages well. Integrity ages well. You might get clowned for integrity in the moment. They might call you all types of names, everything but a child of God in the moment. But the reason why I am coming on my 25th year, right? I started doing social media lightweight in 2001, heavyweight in 2002. Should I make 2002 my 25-year anniversary then, when it was heavyweight? I don't know. All I know is we're coming up on my 25-year anniversary. There's a reason why, even though I'm not famous, I have been getting paid consistently from social media and been on the right side of history for 25 fucking years. I have been on the right side of history as long as Ace has been alive. You know why? Because integrity ages beautifully. The reason why you can't cancel people who move with integrity is because the integrity is a self-cleaning oven. Even when somebody with integrity gets it wrong, because we can't, because we're human. I'm not saying I'm always right. Because we move with integrity, we can concede with our teeth, right? Thank you, y'all. Let me tell you something right now. For the person who said, Blue, how are you not tired at this point? You're always right. Even I'm tired. Look, the reason why I'm not tired is because I feel like James Baldwin being my North Star, and I think I even mentioned this in the Joe Budden episode, because James Baldwin is my North Star, and James Baldwin was lambasted and judged and called, a queer, and not in a nice way. Happy Pride Month. How you doing? But because Baldwin spent years being misunderstood and maligned, but even now after he's passed, his archives bring nothing but pride and joy to his family. Baldwin played the long game. So the reason why I'm not tired is because I'm committed to playing the long game. And for anybody who's watching, I'm not just sharing this to be self-aggrandizing. I'm actually teaching by example. For anybody who feels like they are telling the good work or telling the truth and doing good work and they're yelling into the abyss, I need you to know that it accumulates beautifully. Let it accumulate. The people who talk shit about you on Monday will be the same bitches 52 Mondays later saying, my bad, you had it right. Wait for it. If you move with integrity, wait for it. I always say integrity is like a retirement fund, not a savings account. When people have a savings account, they tend to dip in and take some money out, right? A retirement fund, you do it and don't even think about it again because it's building, right? It's accruing interest. So it seems like Ace finally gets it. Let's finish this last 20 seconds.
And that's something that it hurts to this day because, you know, these are people who I was friends with in the village for a while, you know, and, you know, you try and move on, you try and, you know, next play it, but, you know, you always want to still right your wrongs.
Right.
And I was definitely wrong for that situation. And
let me say this.
It's like,
I will say this, guys, for those who are saying this isn't an apology or an acknowledgement, all apologies start with acknowledgement. To me, a proper acknowledgement of impact is more satisfying than saying I'm sorry. Because it's the biggest first step, and the second step is improved behavior. We are not going to be able to tell improved behavior. Yes, Gia, happy Pride Month. Be who you are. We can't tell improved behavior through an interview. We can tell acknowledgement through an interview. So when it comes to an interview, the only part of apology that is actually quantifiable in an interview in the moment is the acknowledgement. The second half, which makes it sincere, which is improved behavior, is something that's going to have to happen off screen over months, if not years. Yes. So as much as we can have a litmus for integrity, he actually killed that. Ace, kudos to you. If you mean it or not, my audience is being a little skeptical. Somebody said, I thought he said, Nicola, look, they might not want him speaking about it publicly because of the way he was speaking, because his version of speaking about it was him being defensive and making excuses and playing victim. If I told somebody not to speak about me publicly and they did one more final rinse to say, actually, let me acknowledge the impact and the damage that I caused, whether it was intentional or not, I would actually be okay with that. And because Nicolandria have overextended grace to the part where it's almost damn near a character flaw, I think they're okay with him speaking on it again in this way. So, yeah, somebody said he would still be doubling down if he was popular. Absolutely. Some people grow because they're self-incentivized, and some people grow because they have public incentive. Whatever gets you there. What's that song? I don't care how you get there. If y'all had to spank this nigga for 10 months for him to get it, if he that said, I'll take it. Here's the thing. I don't want to get into a space where because someone's imperfect getting to the finish line, we act as if they didn't get there. So if Ace finally figured out how to acknowledge impact with integrity and without playing victim, I'll take it. I'm not going to pretend like he's saved, because again, he has to prove that through weeks, months, and years of improved behavior. But I also need to have a finish line for myself. I think one of the things that we're going to be covering tomorrow in the Dominic Morgan deep dive, and that's going to be earlier in the day because I have an afternoon of client calls. So it's probably going to be like morning on the East Coast, which is going to be super early for the West Coast, which is going to be regular time for our British and UK and international viewers. When I do the Dominic Morgan thing tomorrow, we're going to talk about that, right? And I don't want to be a hypocrite. We're going to talk about how people often think they want accountability when in reality they want punishment. Do you want him to apologize, which means to acknowledge and improve, or do you want him to suffer? And for those who say he figured out how to manipulate the audience, again, only time will tell. You could be right. But I am not going to time travel. In the present, Ace nailed the acknowledgement. That's what I'm saying. In the present, Ace nailed the acknowledgement. And my friends will tell me, Blue, you sometimes you're too nice. I'm not too nice. I just want to make sure that I am very honest about when people get shit right, because I'm very blunt when people get shit wrong. I don't want to be one of those people who I'm running my mouth when people fuck up, but I'm keeping it a light touch when people do get it right. That's called a hypocrite, right? I am not Tasha K. I'm not going to spank you when you fuck up and barely acknowledge you when you get something right. So the same fervor they had me cussing out Ace and being all over Hollywood Unlocked and TikTok and shit, that same fervor has to be brought to this. Somebody said, Blue is being fair to me. I don't know. Okay, let's get off of Ace. We are now going to pivot. 30-minute mark for those who are doing timestamps. So 15 minutes and 55 seconds was Ace. The 30-minute mark is what now we're going to do to the Love Island season 8. I am not going to hold you. I was on the fence about Love Island season 8. Hold on. My YouTube manager just hit me up. What does she want? What happened, friend? Oh, okay. Sorry, I have an ask from my YouTube manager that I just got in real time. Oh, thank you for those of you who are just coming in. Yes, the JPP episode was so good. I had so much fun. We're gonna have a members only live, and it's so funny. At the end of JPP, they were like, "You're gonna be talking about this, aren't you?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna talk about it." I actually would love to have different members of the cast on. I would love to have Joe on. You know what? I would also like to have Jason Lee on. Me and Jason have done so many good humanized podcast episodes, but I feel like Bluecentric Alive has kind of become the new podcast for me instead of humanized. And Jason and I were just talking the other day about how we're overdue. I might have Jason on. So yeah, I would love to have Joe Budden on here. I would love to have Jason Lee on here. I would love to have Ish on here, right? Because Ish is lovely. One thing I will say before I pivot back to Love Island, everybody at the JBP is much taller than I thought. I'm 5'9". I thought that I would be towering over these niggas. I showed up in a Louis Vuitton purse and some Birkenstocks. I was like, I don't want to be just, Godzilla. Nigga, I was not the tallest person there. Ish is like 6'2". Ish is 6'2" with green eyes. I now understand why he's a menace. I get it. All right, so let's now pivot. Somebody said, you don't always like Jason. I mean, I don't always like my actual friends either. But I love Jason as a person. I loved it. You don't have to always like somebody to always love them. Somebody can say something you disagree with, but you love them and you fuck with them and you hold them accountable when you disagree with them. That's how my friendships are. So if I'm friends with somebody, just know they're hearing privately when I don't agree with them. I don't need to rob them of their dignity publicly and weaponize my platform to be their friend. So sometimes y'all be like, why didn't you check so-and-so? How you know I didn't? How you know I didn't? I'm not the friend who's going to check you publicly. I'm the friend who's going to call you. If I have your number, I have no reason to come on YouTube. Again, guys, I'm not an ambulance chaser. Okay, so let's go back to Love Island. Actually, let's change the timestamp to 32 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's first start by following or doing a quick recap of old Love Island folks from season 7, just to see where they're at. And of course, we're going to start with Nick. Olandria, I don't need to ever. Yes, Humanize is going to come back. You know what? I need someone to sponsor Humanize coming back because Humanize was very expensive. If I ever connected with somebody who wanted to help pay for the overhead for Humanize to come back, now that I have a bigger audience, I would totally do it. But out of my own fucking pocket, I got enough bills and enough dependents. All right, back to Love Island. Let's start with Nick. I'm never doing a recap of Olandria because Olandria is a star. Doing a recap of Olandria would be like doing a recap of Beyonce. I could, but who needs that? She's everywhere. The bitch is up. She's winning. We love her. As early Olandria lovers, we have all known, like proud aunties, uncles, sisters, and play cousins, that she was that bitch. And the receipts speak for themselves. Nick is that bitch too. I'm not going to call him the N-word, even though I called him a YN all last year because he's from Florida and he acts like it. Let's start with Nick because we love Nick.
Everyone. Ella's graduated, so that means Love Island Season 8. Ella, you are going to be an Islander.
Hard no. Like no. This is your Love Island winner who now wants to be a rapper. I think she's trying to do like a Cardi B thing because she's a Latina who's beloved for being quirky. So let's see. Can Amaya Papaya repackage herself as a rapper?
Untouchable, I'm fuckable. Yeah, all my girlies know what's up for sure.
No!
Yeah, I don't even have to shop the stores. Yeah, rockin' Gucci, we don't rock Dior.
How many more Love Island influencers are there going to be? Because we
That was quite horrible. Amaya, I love you so much as a human. You're a nice girl. I feel like if I was in the room with you, I would enjoy you as a person. I don't have anything to say about whatever that was. And I don't want to get a copyright strike playing your music. So that was enough. All right, let's get back into fan reactions. Let's first start with the fervor that existed. Oh, guys, I might potentially have, I don't want to say too much. Just know my Love Island breakdowns this season are going to be very regular and might be reaching a bigger platform than even I conceived of. That's all I'm going to say. There have been people who have hit me up who appreciate the labor that I have done making pop culture intelligent and emotionally intelligent, very specifically. And so, yeah, our Love Island critiques and breakdowns might have a bigger audience. I don't want to say too much because it's really fucking early. So let's start with the anticipation that existed last week before they dropped the new folks and their videos and the pictures and all the drama that resulted from them dropping that.
Can't have 100 Hudas, we can't have 20 TJs, and we can't have 15 Irises. So how are we going to go about this? Like, is every single influencer that even walks on and off that stage is going to become a next influencer or reach like Nicolandria's like celebrity level fame? Like, I don't understand how much longer it's going to go, because
you guys, if this time last year you had told us that Nicolandria would be considered the Beyonce of American Love Idol. Love Idol is hilarious. Love Island. Although Love Idol could be a great, interesting show. They sing, but they also date. I mean, okay, pin in that. But if you had told me last year that Nicolandria would be America's fucking sweetheart and the darling of the fashion industry, actually, no, I would have believed you. But most people wouldn't have. Most people wouldn't have. So the fact that this blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl is sitting in her car talking about, well, you can't all be Nicolandria. Ooh, I love it here.
at one point, okay, there's 100 of y'all. Like, I don't understand, because I know the first season and probably the second season, like, I feel like that's the biggest it's gonna get. Unless there's just like one personality who's like amazing, everyone's obsessed with him or her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, does anybody know what I'm coming from? Like, how can we have 200 Love Island influencers? And is their fame sustainable? Like, I'm just really curious, honestly.
Okay, wait. Why does the Love Island USA Season 8 cast actually feel refreshing for once? Because the cast
Y'all, I have seen a million recap videos of who the cast is. I have A, D, H, and a D. Okay, in fact, one of the things we're working on for the show, shout out to anybody who wants to help me with the merch, because my team is ready to put out merch. I just need to get it designed. We are designing a sponsored by ADHD t-shirt, because this entire show is sponsored by ADHD. Okay, neurodivergent girlies love me because I got the tism too. I got ADHD, autism, and an anxiety disorder, and I'm gifted. For those who don't know, if your IQ is past a certain level, that's considered being neurodivergent. The human brain is not meant to work like that. So as somebody who's a quadruple neurodivergent, was a damn fucking way I was going to sit here and watch these 5-minute breakdowns of the cast. Couldn't do it. And then I found this. This is about 60 seconds tops. So if you don't know who the cast is, we about to go through it. If you already know, y'all know the rules. 60% of y'all walk in here already knowing everything I'm about to talk about. You just came to kick it. 40% walk in here like virgins, okay? Just newborn babies just waiting to have me slap their ass with some information. I'm begging the 40% to enjoy themselves, and I'm trusting the 60% not to post spoilers. If you know all the tea about Love Island, this is the part of the show, like, you know, in the movie theater when they tell you to turn your phone off, this is the part where we say, shut the fuck up respectfully. Love you so much. Love you so much. STFU so much. Don't post spoilers from this point on. Let the 40% enjoy the journey, right? You don't have to show off how much you know. So, yes, let them be guided. Mitson's like, yes, I'm the 40%. So to the 40%, get ready, because it's about to be quick as fuck. To the 60%, this is just about to say some shit you already know. Y'all ready? Let's see the cast.
just dropped, and immediately I noticed something different. This lineup feels way less wannabe influencer.
I didn't just notice that the lineup is way less wannabe influencer. There's only but like 3 white folks. This is very colored. I'm not being antiquated because I can't say black. It's not black, but it's very BIPOC. This is the most BIPOC ass first cast. For those who don't watch the show, they start with a cast of about 10 people, and then they keep adding people as the show goes on. I've never seen an initial cast be this melanated. It's melanated as hell. It's very melanated. I'm also noticing, though, it's not lost on me. This is the least white cast that's ever happened. It's also the one that y'all are calling basic and unattractive. What you mean by that? Are they basic and unattractive because they're unattractive and the producers are blind? Or are you just mad as too many niggas? What do you mean by that? It's unattractive. And I see black folks who have not checked their internalized racism who are almost disappointed that there's so many black and brown people. If you are someone who can't figure out why you're underwhelmed by this initial cast, ask yourself, are they ugly or they're just not white enough? Because I've seen some mud duck all white cast with one Asian girl and a biracial black man who doesn't date black women, and y'all be eating that shit up. Okay? She could have a cleft chin and look all types of cross-eyed, but she blonde with titties that she just bought, and suddenly, oh my God, Madison's my favorite. But now you see a bunch of Latinos, blacks, and Afro-Latinos, some Asians, some Blasians, and like 2 white folks. And now y'all think everybody ugly. I don't know how I feel about that, y'all. It's giving un poquito racist to me. For those who know my lore, yes, I only know a little bit of Spanish, even though it is technically my first language. Shout out to assimilation, okay? Y'all made fun of me as a child, made me unlearn my native tongue. But yeah, I think it's real funny. I think it's real funny that y'all calling this cast ugly when I don't see nobody ugly. I just don't see a lot of white folks. But let's continue.
And way more people who are actually about to make terrible emotional decisions on national television. And honestly, that is exactly what this show has been missing. We got Anaya from Georgia, Beatrice from San Diego, Bryce from LA, Gabriel from Miami, Casey.
Esoterically made. Did you miss the part where we say you don't have to jump to share spoilers? Did you miss that part, babe? We're getting to that. Let people enjoy the show.
From Fresno, Kenzie from Georgia, Melanie from LA, Sincere from New Jersey, Sean from Pennsylvania, Trinity from Virginia, Yasana from Oregon, and Zach, who apparently is Charlie's brother from last season. And from the teaser they released, the energy feels surprisingly chill. Like nobody's trying too hard yet. Nobody's giving, I already planned my sponsorship deals before entering the villa. It almost feels like production listened to all the complaints from last season and said, all right, let's bring the show back to actual romance and chaos. Because the best Love Island seasons are never the ones where everybody's image conscious. It's the seasons where people get attached too fast, start spiraling over somebody they met 48 hours ago, and completely forget cameras exist. Now, don't get me wrong.
Olandria. For those asking why this switch, Olandria, the biggest cash cow, was the darkest, blackest woman there. Olandria.
This cast could still end up being messy in the worst way possible. But first impression, I'm interested. And I did not expect them to drop this cast this early either. This feels like Love Island trying to get its identity back.
I'm a little nosy, and so I do like to see how everyone on Love Island's Instagram accounts grow.
Now, I'm telling you right now, we know for a fact that this is not going to be a bunch of influencers, at least for the initial cast, because most of them barely have any people following them. I'm going to keep this up. Thank you, Gia. No spoilers. Please stop rushing to tell us what you know. This is a different kind of show. But when they said there's no influencers, I was like, it's probably a bunch of people who are not influencers, but they're hella fucking popular. No, not even that. They're not even popular. It's just regular people. I can't remember the last time I saw an entire cast on any show of reality genre be regular people.
Over the course of them being on the show, let's consider this video your Love Island USA Season 8 Instagram growth reference guide. Because I know you're also nosy too, and at some point you will look up how many followers does this person have, and you're going to be like, well, where did they start from? And this is the video that is going to do that. You're welcome. Now, I took these screen grabs about 20 minutes after the initial media announcement, and
I'm not an ambulance chaser, but I love this level of thirst. I love a bitch who be like, yo, you've only been on social media for 10 minutes. Since the announcement, I'm about to look up how many followers you have, because this is actually really great data, right? I think one of the things that I want us to do with this season of Love Island, and for those who don't watch the show but who will be watching our recaps, I want us to use this as psychological study. I am what I like to call an urban anthropologist, right? I love people watching. I love watching trends. I love learning from watching other people because I don't feel like I need to learn everything the hard way my damn self. And I'm going to be curious to see, of the folks who are relative unknowns, I don't call anybody a nobody. I hate when people act like just because you don't have a following, you're a nobody. These are just relative unknowns, right? It's a kinder language. These relative unknowns, I want to see where they're started. And I'm going to be curious to see who does it go to their head and who remains G'd up. Because one of the things my sister Mel said to me last night, we were talking about something related to my business. And she was like, yo, you know, things have really skyrocketed for you in the last year. You have not changed at all. That was such a great compliment. The fact that money cannot change me or accolades can't change me, I'm praying that the producers didn't just decide to have more Black and brown people because of Nicolandria and Shalace and all that other stuff. I'm also praying that they're recognizing that Olandria and Nick's integrity, I hope that they recognize that their integrity is why they're the only couple that is still in such high regard a year later. I hope they're recognizing that the audience is actually ready for integrity, and that they not just cast non-celebrities, but that they also cast people who actually have the same kind of integrity. For me, as an EQ coach, that would be a really nice change of pace. But maybe I'm not going to hold my breath on that because it's still TV. Let's see.
So they might have gained some followers in that time, but we can assume that 25 minutes after the media announcement, there wasn't an influx of followers just quite yet. So this is as close as it will be from their starting points to when they get sent home on the show. Or maybe one of them wins. I won't be so cynical. Okay, up first is Anaya Harvey. She's at 23,000 followers.
Anaya, okay, that's a good number of following though. Anaya is the one that we're going to be talking about first when we talk about different people, because Anaya, the cameraman did her dirty, and yeah, now everybody's debating if she's a catfish because how she looks in the pictures is incredibly drastically different from how she looks on her social media page. So she has 23,000 followers. Okay.
Then we have Paralympic bronze medalist Beatrice, who has 16.2 thousand.
So Beatrice, I hope I included her video in here. If I didn't, I have it on my phone. I'll send it to myself. Beatrice is a Paralympian, which means she has a prosthetic leg. People are torn about her because some people are saying it's amazing that you have somebody who with a disability who's on the show, and others saying, no, we're just going to keep it for the sympathy vote because nobody wants to admit that they don't want to sleep with the girl who's missing a leg. I'm down to see what happens. I'm down for the social experiment that they signed up for and consented to see what happens when you have a visible disability. Because I'm somebody who all my disabilities are invisible, right? I gotta tell you what's wrong with me, right? Or what's different about me, differently able. I don't think that's a really a well-regarded term. But whatever it is, for someone to have a whole leg missing to be cast on the show, and I think she's Latina, yeah, they're doing what somebody's calling liberal island. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about how this is liberal island. And I think they're doing it as a response to Trump. And I hope that the audience gives them an incentive to keep doing it.
Bryce is coming in with already a super high following of 131,000.
So Bryce is the one who reminds me of Nick. He has 131,000. That's significant. That is very significant.
Gabriel is already starting with 10,000.
Gabriel's the hot Brazilian that everybody's worried might be a Trump supporter. Okay.
KC has 9,000.
KC is the all-American attractive black guy. Okay.
Kenzie has 8,000.
Kenzie's the blonde girl who is has been caught in MAGA hats all throughout the social media, hanging out with all her MAGA friends.
And so does Melanie. Sean has 1,400. And
Sean, the hot dad, has 1,400. We're going to get to him in a second as well.
it looks like he's also a dad, so it'll be interesting to see if that gets brought up on the show. Sincere has 8,900.
Sincere's a personal trainer, and all his clients are like, wait, does this mean you're not going to train me for the summer? So that's hilarious. I've seen several of Sincere's personal training clients talk about, I'm about to get fat because this nigga decided he wanted to be on Love Island. Jokes. Hilarious. Somebody said, Blue, have you seen God Is? Don't mean to be off course. Not yet. I want to see it, although I've heard rumors that it's leaving the theaters early, so I'm going to do my best to see it while I'm traveling.
Trinity has 4,500.
Trinity is gorgeous. Trinity visually is the closest to an Nicolandria archetype from what I've seen so far.
I'm rounding. Vasana has 1,141.
Vasana's no longer with us, but we're going to get into that in a second.
I didn't round. And Charlie's brother Zach has 3,339. I can't wait to talk about Love Island with you all this season, and let's see who gets the most followers by the end.
Those are incredibly low numbers, guys. 1,300 followers, and you're going on Love Island. Your life is about to change drastically. I know old white ladies who work in accounting who have more than 1,300 followers. So just know, we asked for something different. From what I'm seeing, it looks like they listen to us. Ooh, bon Dieu. Okay.
Island fans are way too quick with digging up information. I just caught up with everything I think is being talked about, but let's go over what I've learned so far.
I gotta call him Vasana Dasani. Y'all ain't shit. For those who are in the 40%, you're about to find out why refusing to call Vasana by her government name is something that Black people are doing all over social media. And you can guess why. It starts with N and ends with word. You can guess why.
Starting with Gabriel, obviously people are already canceling him because he's a Trump supporter, but bro, he's a person of color in Miami, Florida. I'm from Miami, not a Trump supporter, but when you're born there or go to school there, every person that's a person of color, and they are different from Black people, they're a Trump supporter. Cubans, Trump supporter. Brazilians, Trump supporter. Like, they all are Trump supporters in Miami, so this is not surprising to me. They also found a post of his where he posted this saying, "We should not be dumping millions of our Jewish victims on a poor desert Arab country conquered by the evil British Empire."
Oh.
So he's really passionate. Staying on theme, another Islander, Kenzie, is also being canceled for being a Trump supporter.
I mean, this not even lightweight, baby. She had a Trump party with other Trump people smiling Trump things. Like, this not... Baby, this is... Oh. Are there no liberal blondes? Why you always gotta pick a blonde girl who want... Okay, let me just... The season hasn't started yet. Let me just...
Supporter. But unlike Gabriel, her family is working overtime to denounce all of this, saying she's not a Trump supporter. This was 4 years ago and she's learned from this. Somebody commented saying, "Hello, management team here, and just wanted to say a few things. None of these recent allegations are recent. They are from well beyond 4+ years ago and should not be used against someone. Kenzie is barely an adult, meaning her personality and perspectives have differed severely." And I'm not reading all this, but they also posted this in defense of Kenzie. Now on to my client, Trinity.
To me, this is a Olandria-like face. This is a gorgeous woman. Oh my gosh, she is so fucking pretty. Please don't disappoint me, sis. She is so pretty.
Y'all are not even going to let her step foot on this island before you try to have problems with other fan bases. Oh my goodness. Apparently her friends are on Twitter reposting anti-Olandria stuff.
Oh, never mind. They doing what now? I didn't know that. You guys know that I do my best not to watch too deep into these videos because I want to experience them with you as much as possible. Baby, why are your friends talking shit about Olandria? They're a little stupid. Are they a little dumb? Even if you hate Olandria, your friends are dumb. If any of her friends are watching, you are dumb. Okay, why are you dumb? Yeah, like, bruh. What I did hear about her is that she follows Sierra. So maybe the fact that she follows Sierra is why she feels a way about Olandria, and her friends have heard her talk about Olandria because she follows Sierra. Maybe that's it. But that's just wild to me.
I'm just going to tell you right now, let the girl live. Please, friends, don't mess it up for the Islanders. Trinity has done nothing yet. And her friends or family or whoever are trying to get her into something that she
Yeah, I don't think... Oh, Trinity, baby. Okay, never mind. Never mind, Trinity. That's a bad taste in somebody's mouth that I'm not sure you're going to be able to... Unless she's amazing. Unless she's absolutely amazing and goes on a 20-minute rant about how Olandria and Nick are her Lord and Savior and she's coming in here to find her Prince Charming like Princess and the Frog. You have an uphill battle because of your friends, baby.
Doesn't even know she's a part of. So someone tweeted saying, "You ever look at someone and immediately know they're going to be a star? Trinity, you are that." Then somebody else tried to be shady saying, "Olandria, I'm afraid your ender has arrived. Your 5 minutes are up."
What?
And up here, which I'm assuming is Trinity's friend, reposted. You know, people are scouring the internet for any reason to get in a beef, to get drama. So if you're a friend of one of these Islanders, like, please lay low. Just please lay low. And besides the photographer, probably...
Okay, let's get to this. Sorry, my chair. I'm on a stool at the hotel, and I don't like when my feet don't touch the ground. All right, I'm better. I'm going to say this respectfully. Y'all know that as a dark-skinned Black woman, I am all too aware of how lighting has a major impact on how you look because Black skin has to be lit differently. Why does she look like Ashley Larry in this picture? Her skin is gray. She's not even dark skin. She's gray. For those who have not already seen this, this young lady looks like a 35-year-old divorcee in these pictures. And shout out to all the 35-year-old divorcees. There's nothing wrong with you. You just probably wouldn't be cast for Love Island. Can we be honest? Had I seen just this picture, I'd be like, oh, okay. She's a chocolate girl who they did dirty with some bad lighting. The point of contention is when you see her pictures versus the studio pictures, it's not even the same girl. Let me find out that you decide to have the blackest, most BIPOC opening cast we've ever seen in Love Island USA history, but none of y'all figured out how to set up the lights properly.
Being Anaya's biggest op. There is no drama with her, but I have acquired her as my newest client because word on the street is she's 6 foot. As a 5'10" girly, I am always standing a tall queen. So, welcome to my clientele.
Yes, I immediately thought about Annie Leibovitz when I saw that picture. I was like, this is some bullshit Annie Leibovitz would do.
Somebody's catfishing, and it's not Anaya. It's literally the photographer. This is Shelly's intro photo. This is Nicolandria's intro photo. This is Coco's intro photo. And this is Anaya's intro.
That picture gives me gas. That's a bad picture, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm not one of those everybody looks beautiful type of bitches. My tism is I hate this picture. If I was on Love Island, fuck Love Island. If I was on the Joe Budden podcast and Joe Budden put out a picture of me like this, I would text him like, hey, bro, we had a great conversation. What the fuck? Y'all don't like me?
Photo. The lighting is terrible. The background does not complement her skin, and her skin looks very gray. Her makeup is not giving what it needs to give. And don't get me wrong, she is a gorgeous, gorgeous girl.
She is.
But they did her extremely dirty. So
don't worry. For those who are saying, well, Blue, what does she look like? Don't worry. I went and found the pictures because this can't be the note that we end on. Like, I would not do my sisters like that. This is not what the lady looked like. Right? Right now, somebody's mom. Let me shut up. I'm about to say something ignorant.
proof is in the pictures and the photography. Just saying.
Oof. Oh, my God. Y'all. Do y'all see the difference? Y'all, come on. This girl is the niece of the last lady they showed. I'd be damned if I was a 24-year-old young lady who went on Love Island and they had a picture of me looking like my own auntie. Oh, she's gonna be so mad. Y'all, this not okay. Let me stop yelling. Okay. You can't go from Angel Reese to Thelma from Good Times. And here's the thing. Neither picture is ugly. Okay. I'm not gonna call this black woman ugly. And as a woman, all the ladies in here, okay, all the he, she's, theys, and gays, we all know why she would feel away. Thank you. You see how you just said she fine? You weren't saying that about 3 minutes ago, were you? Yes, in motion, she's pretty too. They have videos of her looking like this. This is actually what she looks like, y'all. It'd be like if, y'all know I'm 5'9", I'm a plus size woman, I'm very well endowed. If you were to take a picture of me lying on the floor, I would look like Sasquatch. You add some bad lighting, I would look like an 80-year-old Sasquatch. This has nothing to do with how attractive she is. Y'all did the girl dirty. Somebody said this is diabolical. Yeah, I hurt for this girl. Y'all, come on. This is the girl that the other girl would come to for advice to pull niggas. Ugh.
I really did not want us to have another.
So first, the black girl is being made to look like her own auntie. Now we're getting to Dasani Water.
You listed this year, but it looks like there's a video from Vasana from Love Island USA season 8 saying the N-word. And not one video, but two.
Knock, knock, nigga.
Night, nigga. Oh, really? Vasana? You're going to watch this. This clip is probably going to play 2 or 3 more times in other videos. You singing where the niggas at while smiling at the camera is already ill-conceived. You playing a video game at Dave & Buster's with your homegirls. And then when you win, looking at the camera again and saying, night, night, nigga. No, you talk like that. That's how you talk. It's not a song. That's how you talk.
And this has made its way to the internet, of course, because people have.
And you have the makeup of a girl who's used to black men hitting on you. So don't even get me started on that shit.
I've been digging things up since the cast got announced. Now we have this video surfacing because I guess one of Vasana's old hometown friends or people that she knows leaked it. And there's somebody in the comments claiming that they were old hometown friend of hers and that they're shocked at this behavior. Now, I don't know if this person's actually a hometown friend, child. Like, this is what the person commented, okay? I like to verify sources before I bring them to the internet, but this is what the conversation is online, so I'm just bringing it to y'all and y'all can have the conversation about it. All I'm gonna say, if this is Vasana, which is looking like it is her, this is incredibly annoying. Like, it's just annoying. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, I really thought that we would not have another situation like this year. And obviously, we know she's getting yanked out the damn villa. So just go ahead and yank her out before the episode even airs. I know y'all haven't started filming yet. Just go ahead and replace her now. Give us somebody new immediately. I don't even want to see her step foot in the villa if this is her. Okay? Ain't nobody got time.
Love Island USA Season 8 is premiering tomorrow. We already have updates. There's already stuff going on with the cast. Let me fill you in. First things first, it seems...
Sorry, y'all. After seeing that picture of that poor girl, now I'm trying to adjust my own fucking lighting. I'm like, girl, don't let me get caught slipping like that. Jesus wept. I fixed my lighting, child. She just gave me a complex. Let's continue.
Like kicking somebody out of the villa before the season even really starts.
So for those of you who don't know, but it's everywhere. Vasana's already been kicked out. She didn't even make it to June. Fuck making it to the island. She didn't even make it to the month of June. That is rough. I always say, getting fired on your day off must suck. It must really suck.
It's about to become a tradition. We have Vasana here. She was announced in the cast announcement that came out, I believe it was Thursday.
Somebody said, can I say she has the face of a white woman who says the N-word? Something about her phenotype. I don't know how to explain it. The fillers, the lashes kind of made me feel like that. I'm not going.
Sister's already at the villa. They probably knocked on her door in the middle of the night and said, pack your bags, babe. There's a video of you saying that.
For those who are saying the real problem is casting isn't doing a good enough job, I actually disagree with that. And we're going to get into that. This is actually, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm about to show the producers some bail. This was actually a scheme that Todd set up. It would have been impossible for the casting directors to catch this. And we're going to get into why. So for once, it's not the producers. It just seems that Vasana allegedly is a bitch and has a lot of enemies who have been waiting for the day that they could bring down her demise. Allegedly. And the enemies posted something that doesn't actually exist on the internet. Therefore, producers could not have found it because it didn't exist on the internet. It only existed in the phones of her enemies in a file folder called Fuck Vasana. So for once, it's not the producers. Yikes.
N-word and you can't be on the show anymore. And she probably was like, oh my God, it was only once I was singing to a song and they said no. It was twice. There was another time when you were playing a video game in an arcade. So Vasana is no longer on the show. My calculations are correct. She did not even get a single day of filming. And she was—
Wait, somebody said, I love this for her. Y'all ain't
already on a plane back home. Can you imagine you tell your family and friends, you quit your job, you're like, hey, I'm going on Love Island USA Season 8. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, yay, so excited for you. And then they sit down and go turn on the TV and you're knocking on the door like, hey, I'm home, please. And then on top of that, we also have Sean Raphael. His whole storyline is that he is a cop. Now, if I were—
Y'all know I like Samoan looking niggas because they look like my daddy. So he seemed a little fine. He got a broad back too. Sorry, I care about a man with a strong back the way most of y'all care about height and money. Because, you know, niggas with strong backs can lift heavy things. I am things. So yeah, he looked a little bit like my type. Please don't disappoint me.
In the villa, I would have kept that to myself. I really would have, because if I'm in the villa with a cop, baby, you sit over there. You're an out. He's from Pennsylvania and he signed on with the Bethlehem.
Oh, he's a cop. Oh, I've messed with cops before. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. He's already talked himself out the running. For those who are wondering about my type is extreme. I either like niggas who remind me of my daddy or Nigerians. They're either slightly racially ambiguous or black as night. Okay, Viva la Asa. I love my people. He's a cop. What kind of cop? Not yuck. I know some very pro-black cops, but no part of me thinks they're the norm. So what kind of cop is he though? Because y'all know I like me single fathers. A single father, it means that like you know how to take care of somebody other than yourself, and you've had to have an ego death and decenter your, well, a present father, I should say. A present father is an attractive thing, right? So if he looked like that and he was somebody's daddy, then I like that. But if he's a cop, that's tricky. Is he like Officer Smiley who wants to like help the neighborhood and give back by being one of the good ones, or is he a cop? Like one of those I bleed blue types. I'm curious.
Him police department last year. But in light of Love Island USA, he actually resigned from that position to go on the show, and the mayor is not very happy about it.
The mayor, yes, I heard the mayor was cussing him out. Oh, and he looked good in a uniform. Let me stop. Sorry. Am I ovulating? What the fuck? I am so sorry, y'all. Let me let this thing
Basically released a statement and was like, we spent thousands of dollars of taxpayer money to send him to the police academy, and now he left the police academy and we can't even fill that spot until next year because it's like a cycling enrollment. And then he went on to say that he never thought he would see the day that being a reality TV star would outweigh being a police officer, which, like, I feel like that's his age showing. And last thing I'll say, I don't know what's going on over at Peacock HQ right now, but y'all have approximately 24 hours to figure out the whole lighting and filming. Black skin. Figure it out.
I'm gonna be honest. If it's a whole season of niggas looking like Annie Leibovitz covers, I can't do it. I don't want to come on here for 6 months talking about how ugly everybody look. And you know what, my tism, I will. So yes, girl. The mayor. Why is the mayor mad? You know why? The mayor probably thinks Love Island is a bunch of liberals. It is. It's a bunch of liberals doing sex shit. It is. And is mad about that. So, I mean, I think him being mad is entitled and weird, but I also think that the reason he's mad is probably steeped in facts.
I don't know why y'all did my girl Anaya like that. I don't know why y'all did Trinity like that. Trinity doesn't look as bad, but Anaya, y'all didn't.
Y'all got Anaya looking like Weezy Jefferson instead of Angel Reese, and I don't know what to do with that. Ooh.
I don't actually know what's going on across the entire casting photo, because the way that I saw pictures that I think it was like Deadline or something posted about the Love Island cast, and it was like pictures from their Instagram, you actually did all of them dirty. Like, why did you make them look like that? Figure it out.
So the one question everyone is asking is, how did the Love Island casting team not catch this?
Okay, yes. After this girl, we would have thought all the N-words would be caught early. But this is where we explain that, no, this was an app. So there was no... Again, I am very remiss to shoot bail at Love Island producers because they do the devil's bidding. Okay? And though I want to be fair. I need to be fair when it's good so I can talk my shit when it's not. They had no way of being able to catch this.
After all, they saw the backlash that Yulisa got last year. So how could they repeat the same thing with Vasana?
Yo, this picture of Vasana is not... Yo, the cameraman hated everybody. Who took these pictures? Was it a person whose cousin or niece didn't make the show, who felt away, who sabotaged all the pictures? Why everybody look a little off? Blue has me weighing in on the consequences of being over. Are you talking about the JBP? You guys, we are going to have a Joe Budden podcast recap, I promise. Okay? And again, if you go over there, please shout out with Blue Hearts that you are the Blue Crew, and though moving away that I can be proud of. Don't be up there beating people up, please. I beg you. All right.
Well, because apparently her enemies were waiting for this moment to cancel her. The topic of Asana has been going viral all over Reddit, and according to these Reddit sources, this was a planned coordinated attack on Vasana. It reads, the leaked videos of Love Island USA contestant Vasana Montgomery were initially released and circulated on TikTok. And the ones responsible were anonymous accounts and individuals from her past who are attempting to expose her. It also goes on to read that these videos are not official releases, but instead unauthorized leaked footage showing her using a slur years prior to the show. And I could see that because if you go to her social media page, it doesn't show these videos at all. Now, it doesn't say, but apparently the people who were responsible for this were like old hometown enemies. Maybe it was a bunch of old high school.
Old hometown enemies almost sound satirical. You have old hometown... Girl, what was you doing? Whose boyfriend did you fuck? Y'all know when it's this deep, it's about a man. She fucked the wrong... Allegedly. This is just speculation. I'm just being funny. Do not clip me, because y'all love, when it comes to Love Island, y'all love to clip me and monetize me before I can even get a fucking check. I'm not saying this is what happened, but this is feeling like the kind of ire you would feel if somebody fucked your boyfriend. If you did fuck the wrong girl's boyfriend, it's been up and stuck for a while, because them videos look about 3 or 4 years old.
Classmates who were enemies of her, just waiting for her takedown. If this turns out to be true, like, we can't really blame the Love Island casting team for this. It still is an excuse as to what she said.
Now that I thought about it, whoever exposed Vasana, you didn't do your big one. No.
Now, this is so funny. This one I did watch. This man is going to explain. He doesn't mind that Vasana, Dasani, whatever her name is, has ops. He's like, You did it wrong. If you were going to bring her downfall, there was a better way to do it. So, you know, let's see what he got to say. I love me a little petty moment.
So yes, you may have succeeded in getting her out the villa, but I actually think you may have dropped the ball.
The joy in her face while yelling to the camera where my niggas at, it's a lot of joy. Okay.
As well. The videos that you released look so old, which means that you have been an op of hers for a while now. You've been sitting on these receipts for years, well before Vasana even got cast to be on Love Island USA Season 8. If you really wanted to do your big one, what you should have done was let her get into the villa, let her unpack her clothes, meet the guy, start flirting, making connections, and making friends. You didn't really give her a moment to really bask in the experience and really...
This is diabolical. This man is saying if you were her op and you waited 4 years for your moment, you should have left her tongue kiss and fall in love first, then release this. That is insane yet brilliant. I don't condone that. Blue Telusma does not condone that. And though I see the vision, though. I can admit objectively that I see the vision.
Bask in where her new reality could have been like. Had you waited a few days or even a week or two, not only would you have gotten her out the house anyways, but then you would have had really put severe pressure on Love Island's producers and them having to solve the problem. And considering Yulissa Escobar week 1 of last year, this is 2 years in a row. Vasana now holds the record of being the cast member kicked out the fastest after a cast reveal. And for some...
Having the record for being the bitch that sent home the quickest, that has to hurt. Jesus. That has to hurt.
Someone who's had a vendetta with her that appears to be kind of old, like those videos look really old.
Knock, nigga.
You didn't really do it for the plot to its fullest.
That night nigga is so deeply ironic because it looks like Vasana, you are the nigga in question. You said night nigga and effectively put yourself to bed. That's fucking awkward. Yikes. Well,
Dehumanizing the word. It's a fucking word. Do you think you still would have been if you still would have been in the villa without the incident? Honestly, I think I would have been out of there.
Y'all would post somebody's colonoscopy results if you could get them. Because the cast has been out for a handful of hours and y'all done got their family history, dating history, life history, all of it already posted. Like, golly. Do y'all rest? Good Lord.
Why would y'all be mad that people are digging up what we need to know about?
What, my nails? Y'all are so random, but okay. No, my nails... Oh, I promised I was going to show y'all my bag. My nails are meant to match my new laptop bag. I treated myself to a laptop bag because, you know, all I do is work, child. All I do is work and pray for a husband. So I don't fucking know. Actually, I do be having fun. Let me not say that. But, like, I don't really be outside. So I was like, I can't afford to, like, just buy a purse. So I bought a new laptop bag. And I was so inspired by my bag, I ended up getting my nails to match. So this is the color of my laptop bag. In fact, no, it's actually... Joe, funny enough, because, you know, Joe's a bird, I'm a bird. We're both two birds. We were both two messy bitches on that couch. And the reason why I'm bringing up Joe Budden is because y'all keep talking about it in the comments. Me and Joe were two messy Virgo energies on the couch because y'all know I'm a triple Virgo, even though I'm a Taurus. And at one point, when we went to go take the pictures, he was like, you want your Louis bag to be in the picture? And I looked at him like, why would I bring my laptop back for a photo shoot? And Mel was like, and this is why you are not down to earth. Nobody's calling a Louis bag their laptop bag. Guess who is calling their Louis bag a laptop bag? An entrepreneur who understands that when my bookkeeper looks at that Louis Vuitton receipt, I got to explain to her how the fuck I got a Louis. So we need to all play along. This is my laptop bag. I'm going to show it to you in a second while this girl plays because y'all keep asking me to show my bag. Mind you, I'm not a designer bag girl. I walk around with Trader Joe's tote bags all the time. So it's a joke that this even happened. But let's watch this clip real quick.
Out the cast. I need to know she said the N-word. Let the fandom do what it does, because people are going to get on here and start playing characters. I want to know before I start picking clients up. My bigger issue is we shouldn't be picking anybody up based on a cast photo. We don't know the personalities.
I agree with her. I agree that a cast photo is not enough to have a first impression. It's enough to be like, oh, I think she's attractive, or maybe the lighting's off. Let me see her personality. But can we at least wait until the first episode? I do think it's premature for y'all to be making. Some people already have Stan accounts. All right, so I'm going to show this one time only because I'm keeping my word, not because I give a fuck. It's just that a bunch of you DM'd me asking because I keep forgetting how great your memories are. When your family, your online community is full of neurodivergent people, the problem with that is y'all remember every fucking thing. So I promised you I would show you my laptop bag. So here it is. Her name is Cherry. Okay. It is a Louis Vuitton laptop bag. You see? It's very cute. It matches my nails. It also looks really cute in my hair. Very simple. I did not want to take my Joe Budden pictures with this stuff. Okay, I can't put this on the floor because Bridget and my sister keep yelling at me that you can't put Louis Vuitton bags on the floor, child. This thing is heavy because it actually does hold my laptop, though. It really does. And don't ask me the price, child. I'm not doing all that. Y'all happy? Y'all happy? Very cute, right? Cherry's so cute. It's a cute little bag. But it's actually really great because it holds all my stuff when I travel. Thank you. She's just cherry red. I am going to stay in the red family for a while. Y'all know I'm going to go blonde at some point. At some point in the summer, I always go blonde, just not yet. All right, let's continue with this.
We don't know the personalities yet. So let's just all agree to wait 3 to 4 episodes before we start picking people up.
Yes.
Unless y'all start getting racist. Then we already know what's going to happen.
Love Island.
Thank you. Laptop bag. All of us. Say it to the bookkeepers with me. Laptop bag. Thank you.
Is switching up this year when it comes to the contestants' social media. Looks like their social media will not be run by any family or friends while they are in the villa.
Now, I know we're not a fan of this lady, but unfortunately, she's the only person who reported on this properly, so I have to use her as a source to be accurate. So apparently, there's no more friends and family running the accounts, and I am so happy for that because I do feel like a lot of the people said, Blue, you're not Haitian? I'm Haitian and Cuban. Who said I wasn't Haitian? My mother's Haitian, my dad is Cuban. That's an interesting question. No, but for the people who were fighting on behalf of Sierra or fighting on behalf of Nick or fighting on behalf of anybody, they've completely cut that extra piece out. And honestly, I appreciate it. I think it's a good idea.
Sean's sister had commented underneath a post saying, Sean is my brother. Also, their socials are all on freeze while they're on the show. We can't do anything. Good. And she's correct because I just went to check a few of their IGs and you cannot comment on their posts. So this is Sincere's post as you.
Yes, they told me not to put my purse on the floor, but because I keep on saying it's a laptop bag, I keep forgetting that it's actually a purse. Not y'all about to come at me like a bunch of aunties. Let's continue.
You can see comments have been limited, as well as Trinity's post. And Sean's sister did make a TikTok basically just saying, like, yes, he's a father. He loves his son. He's a proud father. And I saw some comments underneath her post of people being like, oh, you're just trying to get clout off your brother. I just think she's being a supportive sister. And obviously, since friends and families can't post on the Islanders pages, they will be posting on their own. I'm gonna be honest, this is for the best for multiple reasons. First off, you cannot like an Islander, that's totally fine. You're not gonna love everyone, but I think it's really crazy to go to their literal posts and just leave really mean comments. I've already seen some mean comments underneath like friends of videos. Secondly, some of the family members, like last year, like were effing it up for some of the contestants. And when it
oh, well, you're Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Cuban, we might be related. Because my father's Cuban, but my sisters and brothers, because I have 7 siblings, their mother is Dominican. So all of my siblings are Dominican and Cuban. So maybe we might actually be cousins.
comes like, oh, well, they still like have a social media gain. Amaya was proof of that because when Amaya went into the villa last year, she literally did not have anyone handling her socials. And she was one of the top, like, social media gains from the season.
Sincere is definitely a hottie. And Sean is too.
That's not a good picture of Sean, but I still think he's hot.
But about Sean is actually a daddy. No, like, quite literally, he's a daddy. He has a child.
Well, like a mamacita, like when Huda did it last year. Well played, sis.
I don't know if this was meant.
Oh, can we all just admit that men who are good with kids are like, it's attractive. Sorry, I don't know why I'm being feral this morning. I don't know why, but men who are good with kids are a visual and psychological turn on for me personally. Maybe because I'm, in my last couple of years of childbearing age, and my body's like, bitch, are we having kids or not? But I think it's very attractive that he's a doting, loving father. And I think that because the kind of women that they've chosen for this season, from what I've seen thus far, seem to be more salt of the earth, more down earth kind of girlies. I see that being a plus for him. It's ironic, but Huda being a mother was a potential check in the negative for her. But I think you being a hot dad is going to be a plus. I don't see most women that I know would not have an issue with that.
Be a reveal on the show, but I found a lot of their social media accounts, and Sean has a child, and she's a cute little girl. He's a hot ass dad and a cop.
He's a girl dad. Oh. Gia said he blazing, he's my type. Now, Gia, focus. Sean is confusing me because he's a hot dad but he's also a cop who's getting cussed out by the mayor. Oh, I'm so conflicted. Okay, let's, Gia, let's me and you wait to see his personality, okay? Okay, if the strong black Blasian has a good personality, then we might come back here on Wednesday a little bit, conflicted. If he's a jerk, then all this doesn't matter. I hope he's not a jerk.
I think he's going to be a top pick. But I don't know how the child reveal is going to play out on the show. I don't think it's going to be something that they drag out.
The girls, well, here's the thing. If he's a good father, they wouldn't be burdened. But I can see what you're saying. You're right. I think because women over 35 probably look at this different than girls under 35. And these girls are like 20, from like 19 to 25. So you're right. I think for this age demographic, it might not be as much of a turn on as it is for me and Gia and anybody who has eyes, because look at him.
I hope it's not, because it shouldn't be that big of a deal for someone to be a single dad or a single mom on Love Island. Nowadays, there are so many single moms and single dads out there looking for companionship or looking for a husband or a wife to complete their family. So I think this will be a great addition to the show. I just want to see how the whole storyline of him be.
Somebody said that child is a boy. You know what? That might be the case, because babies can have curly hair. So maybe she saw all that hair and thought it was a girl. So maybe he's a boy dad. We're not sure, because he's respectful and the baby's face is covered. Boy dad, girl dad, the nigga's still fine. So let's see what happens.
Being a dad plays out on the show. But yeah, he's a daddy. He's a papa. He's a papacito. This is their socials if you want to follow them on Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to pause this. Anybody wants to follow them on Instagram, this is your chance to take a screenshot. Let's continue.
A cop on Love Island? How weird. Let's talk about it.
So I knew that because I think I might be ovulating. And so suddenly all I'm looking at Sean and his pretty smile and his brow back, and I might be getting this off. So I wanted to call in some reinforcements. I went and found me a social justice warrior who don't give a fuck how fine he is, who's going to cuss me and Gia and anybody else who's in the heat about Sean out, about the fact of him being a cop does have... She's about to say all the academic shit that I would have said had he not been fine, child. I'm going to let her do it for me because I'm compromised. Hit it, girl.
Love Island USA doesn't start till Tuesday, but that has not stopped the drama, especially because Peacock has dropped the...
Ooh, does he date black women is a question. Bitch, you gagged me, because you right. I keep forgetting these niggas be forgetting we fine. That's true. Ugh, Sean. I'm nervous, Sean.
Past, but for me, among the most controversial is a guy named Sean Rifle, a cop. In his intro package, Officer Rifle let us know that people refer to him as Officer Sexy Pants, which I find like incredibly inappropriate and alarming for many, many reasons. Most notably because like a large percentage of Americans are very afraid of the police. So today, I want to talk to you about cops. It is a pretty uncontroversial statement to let you know that modern day...
You love Chris. Who's Chris? I don't think there's an islander named Chris. Is there? Did I miss one? Y'all, is there an islander named Chris? I didn't know that there was one. Maybe I forgot that.
Policing is descended from slave catching. During enslavement, white men would band together and literally hunt for humans, both enslaved people that had run away from the plantations where they were being incredibly abused.
Yes, for those who don't know, although I feel like we talked about it on this channel before, the police in America started off as slave hunters. So being a cop is an inherently racist thing by design, not as a matter of political affiliation and opinion. They quite literally created the police in America as an organism meant to capture enslaved Africans who had the audacity to think that they deserve their own freedom. So, yeah, that's not sexy. Okay? So we need to remember that the wincing around cops is steeped in history and ancestral DNA.
And also freed black people. After the abolition of slavery, Southern states then enforced...
Her name is Chris. I was like, what? I'm like, did we miss somebody? Thank you, Gia. Thank you for clarifying.
And installed what are called black codes, which were like a legal mechanism by which they could entrap black people, recently freed black people. These black codes were then enforced by, you guessed it, the courts and law enforcement. Convict leasing then emerged after the Civil War, under which black people were arrested for very minor infractions, again, infractions that might not have even existed. And then they...
Infractions like making soft drugs like marijuana illegal with the intention to find a way to put peaceful black and brown protesters in jail. I used to do this thing on the Griot where every 420, I would revisit the history of why marijuana is legal. Marijuana is illegal in America. I can't speak for any other country, but in America, Nixon and people who worked with him intentionally made marijuana illegal as a ploy to find an excuse to legalize putting nonviolent Black people, particularly Black and brown men, in jail for doing nothing but trying to find anxiety medication. So when you are rigorously anti-marijuana, you are standing on the shoulders of white supremacists. And I'm not saying this as conjecture. One of the architects of the anti-marijuana laws in America, who worked with Nixon, came out on the record. I used to cover this with the Greer all the time. He came out on the record and admitted that they made marijuana illegal specifically to find an excuse to put Black and brown men in jail. So this is not some shit that we made up. Ooh, social justice warriors. No, the niggas who did it, sorry, the non-niggas, the white folks who did it admitted this was the reason. So while they were pumping crack into our system because they had their own shit going on, Castro, child, don't even get me started on the war on drugs. Fuck Nancy Reagan forever. It's a whole other life because I hate that lady. But they were using Nancy Reagan as a stoic white lady saying, just say no to drugs, talking about marijuana, whole time your husband and them are helping them pump crack into Black communities. Marijuana or crack? So we going to jail for smoking a J because we stressed out about systemic oppression while you're feeding crack to us and our babies. Got it. So yes, the police, the government, anybody who understands that history understands why there's a natural wince that comes to police, even though we understand there are good cops, there are Black cops. I actually am cool with a lot of cops from the DC area, a lot of FBI agents. It's impossible to live in DC and not know police officers and people who work in Quantico. And they were amazing people, but even they, as Black and brown people in the force, were getting hazed by other cops. So Black cops have to deal with racism as much as regular Black people on the street. So she's right. Damn, Sean, you fine, but not that fine.
Were leased out to private businesses owned by white people. Then obviously you're familiar with Jim Crow and modern day policing, which is incredibly brutal. Obviously the police in theory sounds like a good idea, right? Like a government agency whose entire job is to protect its citizenry. But I can tell you as a former public defender who worked with police officers every single day, who cross-examine them in court every single day, it's not like what it's meant to be. As a public defender, I spent a ton of time reading police reports. That's like a huge bulk of the job. And let me tell you, most of them were really, really shitty. I spent a ton of time in court cross-examining cops who like didn't know their way up or down, and then fighting with judges because those same cops violated my client's constitutional rights and used undue force and treated them like
Constitution, what's that?
shit. Like I've seen cops on a day-to-day basis, and sure, not all cops, but a lot of cops. So given all of that history and their day-to-day like behavior and requirements, I'm here to tell you that being a cop is not a neutral thing. It's not a neutral profession like being a teacher, being a plumber, or like being a girly in marketing. It's a very racially and historically charged job. Some facts for you. A Black person is 5 times more likely to be stopped by the police without just cause than a white person.
So you cast a mostly BIPOC opening cast, because we know the cast is going to evolve consistently throughout the next several months. But you start off with mostly people of color, but you slip in a white, blonde-haired MAGA girl and a sexy Blasian cop. Okay, y'all, I'm trying to keep an open mind until tomorrow. For those who are wondering, the show tomorrow is going to be around 9 o'clock Eastern time, I think, or like 8 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be too late for me on the East Coast to do a live. We are going to be back Wednesday morning. I'm calling Monique. We're coming back Wednesday morning to talk about this because what and the fuck?
65% of Black adults have felt targeted by the police, and that's about 35% of Hispanic and Asian adults. 250,000 civilian injuries are caused by the police every single year. Somewhere between 900 and 1,100 people in the United States.
That's because cocaine's more expensive. For the person who Candice were there were harsher sentences for crack purposely to put Black people in jail, while sentences for pure cocaine were lighter because, as you know, in the words of Whitney Houston, I'm too rich to smoke crack. Crack is whack. So crack was more for working class Black and brown people, where cocaine was for celebrities and upper middle class and white folks. And so even the kind of crack, right? Because crack and cocaine are just kissing cousins. Even the kind of drugs were racially charged. America doesn't have an issue with drugs. America doesn't have an issue with theft. It has an issue with niggas. And brown people, who they also consider to be niggas, and women, who they consider to not even be human. So I'm gonna try to throw Sean some bail, just only because, not because he's fine. You're gonna be like, Blue, you're ovulating. You're showing this man bail because you're in heat. No, I'm gonna try to show him some bail because a part of me wonders was him quitting only about the fact that he wanted to be on Love Island, or was he already having a crisis of faith, right? Like, was he already realizing that he was in the ranks of something that he couldn't continue? Or maybe I have some friends who are cops because their parents are cops. Shout out to my friend Russ. I think Russ is a cop and her dad is a cop, right? So her becoming one kind of felt like it was a family business. I want to hear him out before we discard him on him being a former police officer.
United States are shot and killed by the police every year, and right now, as of this date, we're at 495 for this year. Casting a cop on Love Island this year, especially because they know so many people will be watching, is a way to humanize him in a time that feels very weird to do that, especially again because a very significant portion of the cast are people of color. Anyway, it's always that deep, and Sean will not be my
Yeah, they said that, but baby, the pictures were from one election ago, not the one in 2020, 2024, but the one in 2020. She would have to come out as a radical liberal to explain to me in a way that I would believe and find plausible why she has veered away from Trump enough for me to take this seriously. Because what I fear is they're going to say that she's still a Republican, she's just not a Trumper, which is just coded language for, oh, it's not popular to say I'm a Trump anymore, but I still have conservative values that lean towards racism. If you're a conservative who's splitting hair saying, well, I'm not a Trump conservative, I don't feel safe.
client.
Because finally they casted average people.
Yes, everybody's saying, oh my God, everybody looks so average, black and brown. Everybody looks so average and not attractive.
Number one, that's a backhanded compliment. Number two, I hate how y'all have turned average into being something bad now.
Look, even black people are saying Love Island budget must have been low this year because you're seeing people who look like you. The call is coming from inside the house. Bruh, sis, I don't know your gender identity. I'm just going to say that makes me disappointed.
Baby chocolate, get up.
So for those who are saying the cast is ugly, I want to look at the pictures. There's only one black man that I can see right now. Well, sorry, one racially unambiguous black man. They could all have a little bit of black in them. You know what I mean? The one racially unambiguous black man, I thought he was attractive. People were saying he wasn't. So people started finding clips like, no, this nigga's attractive. So apparently there's a viral clip of him from back in the day where he goes to a Asian restaurant. And I think the lady behind the counter is flirting on him. And she says, baby chocolate, your food is ready.
Oh, you got the wrong plate. Hold on. You got the chicken and shrimp.
My shit is spicy.
Yes, spicy.
I think it's cute.
You got bomb my shit.
I'm sorry, but baby chocolate is 90s fine. Like, what's the issue? This nigga's not, what? Who are y'all calling ugly? There's nothing ugly about this young man. If he could sing Can We Talk, he'd be Tevin Campbell 3.0. Like, what are we doing?
You don't like the door open. Hey, but the tongue is not my problem, okay? Take a noodle for you.
This what I got.
Whoa!
For the people who mentioned the UK class, at the very end of this, because I have to go in like 10 minutes, at the very end of this, we have a quick shout out to the UK cast because y'all got your own shit too. I think I might be doing the UK Love Island, but it is going to be members only because I can't devote full videos to it the way I do over here.
Burn the tongue, baby.
Some basic. He got all big shit.
I was going to make a joke about baby chocolate being an eater, but I'm old enough to be some other sauce.
I'm a nursing assistant. Women love men in healthcare. If you're a man, you have scrubs.
So baby chocolate is a nursing assistant. Like a father. Fathers, nursing assistants, dog trainers, anything that shows that you have a nurturing side, the girls are going to eat it up because, toxic masculinity is having a moment right now. So I hope baby chocolate's on another. Remember the guy that made Huda walk in the water? I think it was Chris, the basketball player. I pray to God that baby chocolate doesn't end up being a father.
Muscle showing a little bit. They're going for that every time.
Hot take, not everything needs to become a controversy. The cast been out for 5 minutes. We knew the FBI investigations were gonna start. Look, and maybe I just speak for myself, but I actually like going into the show knowing nothing about the Islanders.
I do too. I don't mind walking in a little bit blind like a first date. I don't mind it. Like, it's cool, but why do we know so fucking much and the show hasn't even aired yet? I don't fully disagree with this.
I feel like it makes the show more fun. We haven't had a challenge, a conversation, a bombshell, a recoupling, a movie night.
Wait, now baby chocolate, not chocolate, y'all. I don't know what y'all consider chocolate anymore. Let's move on.
You just get to the first episode.
Oh my God, y'all. They already started on
Now, this is before we go. We're going to do a quick word on Love Island UK. Our good friend EJ, who came on our show last season to have a good kiki with us about Nicolandria Hive. And it was so funny because EJ was so sweet. Nicolandria was in LA after we did that video, and he invited me to come with his friends to go see Nicolandria. But I was like taping or working that day, so I couldn't go. But EJ, we love you. If you want to come back this season, you are more than welcome. But EJ has some tea about Love Island UK. So let's get into it real quick.
Oh my God. They already started on Twitter, yo. Look at this. Let me catch y'all up. So they posted this picture on Love Island, right? They posted this on Twitter. We focusing on him right here. So Love Island posted this on Twitter. Single, hot, and looking for love. Ope, which I think is him, Jasmine, and Aiden.
By the way, Love Island UK loves to have a dark-skinned Nigerian man who doesn't fuck with black girls on the show. It is a sickness. It is a sickness. Like, what is that about? Is that a very specific line item on the checklist? But let's continue.
And are jetting to the villa this summer like never before. Somebody gonna re-quote him?
Oh!
This is not funny.
This is looking a little... Okay, I don't want to say sassy because that could be demeaning. Okay, so this says, I need to see him in motion because... Oh, and the pictures do look a little... It is giving... I don't want to call him sassy or zesty. It is giving a little lemon pepper. I'll say lemon pepper. It's giving a little lemon pepper.
I need to see him in motion because... And then look at the pictures.
Be who you are. This pose is testing me. Okay. And he's on Love Island? For the girls or the girls? No, y'all, we're not gonna say zesty. Is it a little bit of a lemon pepper? Sure, but we're not gonna do that. Oh, you got big titties. Okay, brother, you okay? Fuck, I'm trying to be evolved. You can be bi, guys. It's okay. You're absolutely right. You can be bi. There's nothing wrong with being bi. I'm pansexual. I would be a hypocrite. I just don't think that's what the premise. I'm just respecting the premise of the show. As an autistic person, I like to follow rules. Okay. Maybe he's an ally. Maybe he's an ally who's been affected by the girls. That could be it. Not my light going out when I said that. It's like God said, now, bitch.
Y'all are starting already, bro. Why y'all like this? Like...
It's giving me and my boyfriend. Okay, well, okay. Y'all bless me, God.
Nigga say you're on the wrong island. Oh my God, stop. Y'all do too much, bro. Like, y'all do too much. Oh my God, this shit is gonna be a mess.
But are you allowed to be bi on Love Island? Like, can you like choose to like couple up with your homeboy? And like, you know? Because that would be a gag. Like, if this season, if two of the guys...
The show's about to end, but the light keeps going out. But y'all see how dark I am when the light is off? Y'all keep on talking about I can't say dark sin. Thank you.
Or two of the girls are like, you know what? I want to make history. And they coupled up and made it to the finale. They'd have my vote. Quickly. Okay? Sincere and KC, get to it.
Are we witnessing in real time the downfall of the reality TV crash out queen? For years, people of all genders are...
This is the last video. I think the reason why Love Island seems like it's starting off with the attempt to be more down to earth this year is because I think Huda was the pinnacle of mess. And they recognize if they have anybody akin to or worse than Huda, there would be legal action taken or somebody could actually get hurt. So I do think that Huda might have actually started ushering out the wave of us clapping for crash outs the way we did last year.
On reality TV have had their bad behavior excused and rewarded because of the fact that they are making good TV. But I would say 2025 was the peak of the crash out queen and the supporting women's wrongs attitude among reality TV audiences. That summer, Huda from Love Island USA left the villa with an unprecedented number of followers because of the fact that she regularly acted in a way that...
Oh, there's a picture of him kissing... Oh. Well, that's not lemon pepper. That's just gay. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't know why that just took the last bit of energy out of me. Ope, I was trying to throw you some bail, But if you in a titty shirt taking pictures from the back, kissing on men, I don't think that's not, yeah.
Would probably result in a restraining order if she was someone you knew in real life.
Absolutely.
While Taylor Frankie Paul grew a massive fan base that justified every crash out of hers no matter how irrational it was and attacked anybody on her show who dared to ever go against her. And in the fall, she was rewarded for this popularity by being cast as the first ever celebrity bachelorette. And I understand the urge to, and often am on the side of supporting women's wrongs. The general thought is that men on reality TV have been doing insane shit for decades and getting away with it, so women should be able to a little bit too to balance out the universe. But recent news surrounding these women has called into question how ethical it is to be supporting and enabling behavior that can have serious real-life consequences just because it's being done by women or because it's entertaining content, and if these are really the types of people who we as a society should be making famous.
No.
But it's difficult to know where the line is because some women who might have at one time fallen into this crash-out queen category, at least in the eyes of the general public, have matured into seemingly well-adjusted people who can laugh at their past behavior and grew from those experiences. The Witches of WeHo from Vanderpump Rules and Lindsay Hubbard are great examples of this, and as a viewer, it's very fun to watch these people grow and mature, but I don't know how we are supposed to collectively decide who is or is not deserving of these opportunities for redemption. When we're watching footage of somebody throwing a metal stool in the direction of their child, it's very easy to say, that person is bad, get them off our screens. But it's not always that black and white, and even in as extreme of a case as this, there is a large number of people racing to justify and excuse her behavior. And as somebody who covers these shows, it's hard to know where the line is. I've never supported Taylor Frankie Paul's behavior. I've always been critical of her. But up until this season of Mormon Wives, I did agree with the sentiment that she was great TV. And Huda I haven't supported since she left the villa because I just think her behavior has been gross. But when she was in the villa, I did give her more grace than she deserved because I found her entertaining. And I'm not going to apologize for being entertained by
Now, here's the thing where I divest from this. I never gave Huda credit. I was on the front lines. I think the first Love Island video when I went viral was because I was the first person to academically explain from a mental health perspective why Huda was already a dangerous entity to pump out to people en masse. So I've never found her entertaining. I do agree that when I cover Real Housewives of Atlanta with Carlos and them, there are moments where I'm like, oh, okay, this person is good TV and everybody's on the joke. But I think Love Island has gone from good TV to dangerous, which is why it seems like they're at least attempting to pretend. In the same way that we can only take Ace at his word for being good about finally acknowledging his impact and the harm that he's unintentionally or intentionally, whatever, caused, and only improved behavior can make us agree that he has integrity to back it up. Same thing with Love Island producers, right? It seems like they're trying with this new cast, but only the season will tell us if they've changed enough for it to be good, messy fun without it veering on dangerous. I just got a message from Joe Budden. I'm not going to read it. I don't believe in reading people's text messages like this, especially in a new relationship. But Joe just sent me a really nice message about being on the show. I thanked him for holding space. It was so lovely. For those who are listening to the Joe Budden episode, again, if you show up as the Blue Crew, leave blue hearts and compassion and understanding and fact checks. You can fact check, but don't ever talk to somebody crazy or bully people on my behalf. And also, for anybody who's coming to me now because of Joe Budden or any of the things that I've been on, just know that this space is inclusive and we do gatekeep, right? We believe in keeping sacred things sacred. So all are welcome to sit with us. Not everybody is welcome to be community with us. Community is a thing where we could have to be able to hold you accountable. And I think I've said this a million times. Part of community is being able to hold each other accountable. The fact that we're about to start this roller coaster tomorrow is insane. But now, guys, I have to go shower and watch the latest episode of Real Housewives because in about 90 minutes, I'm going to be over at Carlos King's channel doing Monday Night Live with Carlos King, Claudia Jordan, and Dustin Ross. If you guys want to join me over there, feel free to do so. But first, I got to do my homework and catch up on these clips and watch these shows first. So for those who are going to join me over there, you already know Blue Crew up. I love it when y'all rep. For those who are ending it here, I will see you tomorrow because we were going to have a really, really nuanced conversation about our good sis Dominique Morgan. And I think after we do that conversation, I might have hit up Dom to see if she's open to at some point come on here because what they're doing to her is a teachable moment, even if you're not trans, even if you're not Black. It's a really, really important teachable moment that I have not seen of this caliber in quite a while. And I think it's a conversation that's too important for us not to have. For those who love my monthly tarot readings, Tarot Tuesday will be next Tuesday because I'm traveling. All right. On that note, Yeah, I really gotta go. Love y'all, family. Bye. And the quote that I want for the recap comments is, Love Island producers, are you actually listening this time? That's the comment that I want for the recap commenters. Love Island producers, are you listening this time? Question mark. Because I feels like it's going to be the question that we're going to be asking all season. And I look forward to us getting the answer together in real time. Until 90 minutes from now, love you, family. Bye.